Good evening, Rangers community, and welcome back to another Rangers Rundown. Thank you for joining us. We have a second podcast this week. Thank you to our fans. Can't believe we have fans, but thank you for our fans for getting into me about not doing a podcast last week. So we have doubled up this week. We do try to get members of our Rangers community on, and we have a very special guest today, Belinda Torney. She is our junior coordinator. She is also on the committee, on the women's committee for the RDCA. She's our child safety officer. And on top of that, we know she is the mum of Kiara, Josh, and Lockie. She is also wife of Sean and one of our foundation women's players. Belinda, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
No problems at all. You're very well known around the club for obviously especially running the junior side of things, but it's great to have you on and you can talk about all the other stuff that probably some of the other players might not know what's going on from the juniors and the women's point of view, because we do know you do a ton of work there. So we do thank you for that side of things, but it's also be great to get an insight about everything that's happening.
In the juniors.
Yes, in the juniors. Before we get into what's happening in the now, let's go way back. Belinda, how did you become a part of the Croydon Rangers team or family, I should say?
So way back in the late 90s, Sean was playing cricket. I decided to come down and watch a little bit, then quickly decided that cricket was not my idea of fun. And then, 20 years later, when Josh was ready to play cricket, had no choice where he was going. So we came back and started playing cricket again. Josh is nearly 19, so has been playing at Croydon Rangers now for a good number of years since he's been sort of under 10s way back in the day, and just haven't managed to get out yet.
And then that's gone from Josh to Lockie to obviously Kiara, then Lockie. So I had all three through our junior program, which is, fantastic as well. The fact that you've had able to watch all three of them develop through a club where their dads played at, and now obviously mum's now playing at.
Yeah, I'm the last one on board. One day we'll get our Friday nights free.
No, it is great. Always a shock, I guess, when you meet a partner who's probably playing cricket. It's probably not the most enjoyable thing to do, but you obviously have now become to enjoy the game enough, at least, because you're so involved in it.
It's actually much more fun to play than it is to watch. I get way too nervous watching the children, but to play, it's actually much more fun than what I thought it was going to be.
No, I love that. We'll touch on, I guess, from the women's point of view. Let's go from the Croydon Rangers. We obviously got our first team up in 20 years, which is fantastic. How have you seen the startup of that, and where you think we can grow from here?
Oh, look, it's amazing. It's amazing to see, a number of factors. It's amazing to see the women and girls provided with a way to connect with the club and the daughters and the wives and that sort of thing. It's amazing you feel much more part of the community when you actually are playing and just not associated through someone else. But we haven't had a pathway for our women's, and a couple of years ago, or maybe even last year, I did an amazing program called Play Like a Girl, which really demonstrated the value of women's sports in women's lives. And I think that, having a women's program adds a women's perspective to the club even more. There's lots that women can contribute, and a lot that cricket can contribute to a woman's life. Like, sport is an amazing leveler in people's lives. And it's really nice to see, mothers and daughters play together. Although it wasn't in the sole Croydon Rangers team, I managed to play with Kiara a couple of years ago in our merge program. And, they're core memories, they're core things that we can share. Even the girls playing with their dads in the senior program, it gives them the confidence to give that a go as well. So to watch dads and daughters and mums and daughters, or even hopefully one day mums and sons, if my kids will get low enough to come down and play with me, like, that will be, my dream is to still have all 5 people playing in one team just for one day, because that would be an amazing core memory.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I've talked about the fact that I've been involved in my previous club with the women's program, and for so long we've talked about the legacy of even grandfathers into into the next generation. But one of the greatest things we had was when our women's team started there at Parkfield. We had like 3 or 4 mums join up with their daughters and have that opportunity to play. And we've seen it obviously in the AFLW programs, and the links now that they're talking about, like, sons and other dads and now with their daughters playing at the same club. And hopefully that's going to become mum and daughters. And we're already experienced that. And the fact that obviously yourself, not with Kiara there this year, but hopefully back down in the future. And I know Monica, obviously, with Alicia, Dana, with Ash. So it's so great to see.
Mel with Eliza and Kat, and then Grant.
Exactly.
Grant is the coach with Georgia. It's just, it's amazing to watch.
Yeah. So, and even as you said, on the weekends with Ben and then Grant with their daughters, so to play in the men's program, who would have ever thought that was a possibility? So, to be able to continue that legacy through our women's program is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool to have, a connection that's just not me watching someone else.
Yeah, for sure. And talking about playing, how have you found it so far?
Look, the first time I tried to play, I was due to have a shoulder reconstruction. So that was really difficult. And I sort of felt that I couldn't actually do anything, which sort of let me down a little bit. But now that I'm fully shoulder abled, I've loved learning these skills. I'm really grateful to people like Jason Boyd who spent, time with extra sessions with me to work on my 2-step run up that I think was made, discussed in this podcast. It's now way more than a 2-step run up, but, grateful to the people that have put some time to, to develop those skills. I actually really enjoy learning and improving, and, sometimes 20 overs doesn't seem quite enough to play when, once a week is sort of, not quite enough to develop those skills. And obviously life gets in the way of training, but, just learning new skills. I actually didn't realize how hard bowling was. I thought, just chuck a ball down, you all make it look so easy.
But you're doing it so well at the moment too. It's you've especially
look, I think doing it well is one thing. I think, just getting it down the pitch is probably my goal for now, and then just keep improving. It's certainly no bowling like my children, as they continue to remind me.
Well, it's worked so far. You've got a best figures of 2 for 5, so definitely shown some early skill with the ball.
Still the best figures in the house this season, so just take note.
and not to completely embarrass, but we did see our first run on the weekend, which was good because I know you've been dying to bat. So don't get the chance to kind of commentate and look through yourself here, but here you are, obviously on the weekend against Vermont, who were the top of the ladder team, taking strike, and I think you scored off the first ball here too. So,
yes,
very impressive.
With the 4 off 5 strike rate. I was happy with that. I've already, told the child that got me off, who is a long-term friend of mine, that got me out.
That's a cracking shot, Belinda. Sorry to butt in, but that's a beautiful shot to get off the mark there for your first run. And I know you and KK put on a nice little partnership too. So until
I'm not sure if four is a partnership, but
you got 4 runs, but actually there was a little bit more than the partnership there. I think you guys put on 10 or 15 or something. So that was a nice way. Because I know you've been keen to bat. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out the first couple of games, but. That was good, obviously, getting that opportunity, I'm sure, last week and spending some time at the crease.
Yeah, I loved it. It's a long way down that crease, though. to run.
From, obviously, you spend a lot of time with the RDCA setting this up. How have you found that side of stuff, and where do you think the RDCA is going to go next with their women's program?
I'd just love to see it grow. I'd love people to get on board and appreciate how hard and how much time and effort people go into helping to establish competitions and run committees, and how much volunteer work and how much criticism people get for just putting themselves out there and doing, hours worth of work so that you can get on a cricket pitch. Obviously Kiara plays in a much higher grade than what I do, and just the skill development over time, and watching it develop into one of the premier competitions is really great to see. But we do cop a lot of criticism, some harsh words, which makes it really hard to volunteer, and it would be really, there's a lot of time and a lot of effort at no real benefit to me individually. There's a lot of amazing people. There's been a lot of amazing people that have come before me that have really grown and developed a women's program. It still has, significant ways to go, but I'm so grateful to those people who have given us a voice, to establish a competition, to have the ability to play 80 overs in an afternoon at our higher levels, to create a premier competition. They've allowed us to have a voice and to celebrate the wins. There's still lots of ways to go in a women's competition, and equality and all of those things are something that's really important to me. Not many of us get paid to play sport, so sport is actually much more than just the sport itself. So just to have the ability to keep going, and hopefully the competition will grow and develop, and there's lots more opportunities for women. But yeah, get on board and come into the committees and help make the decisions. That's,
and it doesn't
it's
always
been
have to
eye-opener, actually, being on the committee.
Even if it's not necessarily as a committee, I always think there's plenty of ways to help out, and that even if it's coming down to a women's game and scoring, so it takes the pressure off, Stutzi and Boydie and myself, and there's always different ways to contribute to a club. We even saw
how amazing was it to see? There was quite a few people that came down yesterday afternoon just to support us. Like, it's just amazing, and some of them give tips that help us, and as long as they're given in the right way, it's all amazing to hear. It's amazing to hear the support. Like, sometimes the games are dead, and it's just but it's really nice to see the amount of members that we have at Croydon that come down. I think there would have been 10-15 yesterday, which is it's just so empowering, and it's so positive.
Yeah, for sure. I said this the other day to a mate in regards to Saturday for the Sixers. I don't think I've played a bottom grade before and had so much support at a match. The fact that the thirds, fourths, and fifths finished and came straight to our game and supported us was amazing, because a lot of the time it's very easy just to pack up your bags and go home, or even sit around the club or whatever. But the fact that they had the decency to pack up their stuff and go, yeah, we're going straight to the game that hasn't finished, and
even
didn't care.
The juniors,
yeah.
So the people that come down early, that are playing at Silcock and watch our under-14s on a Saturday morning, it's spectacular. We love watching it, and the kids love to see you there Friday nights. It makes such a world of difference to them.
Yeah, for sure. I always sit there and say, if you can get down Friday night, I try to bring the foof down and walk a couple of laps and stuff. And it's just, even though they might not look like they're noticing, or they do notice, like everybody does when you're on the field. And if you see a Croydon Rangers shirt, it obviously means so much. And it's a great way also for our community. It looks great for our parents and opposition clubs too. And how often do we see people do move clubs? And if they see the fact that we have so much support down at our games, and they're trying to toss up between maybe potentially moving to another club, that they might consider us because of the support that we do give our players. Talking about juniors, so we obviously have Friday nights going with the Blasters, which I did see your little ones involved running that.
I love that you call them little. I'm the shortest in my family by far. Kiara and Lachlan are running Blasters. I think we have nearly 30 people registered, which is amazing. And literally, if you want the definition of fun and chaos, then come down to Blasters. It's amazing, not just to watch, Kiara and Lachlan develop as sort of, leaders and run those sessions and learn lots of lessons, because 3 to 7-year-olds don't often listen, to learn those lessons that will continue maybe into life and career. They just have fun. Like, cricket's fun, exercise is fun, getting outdoors and running around with your mates and playing a few games. It's fun.
For those who might not know, so what is the age group for that to get involved?
Oh, there's different stages. It really depends. Most of our program is sort of between 3 and sort of 7 and 8. But by that time, a lot of our upper tier sort of age groups move on to Mini Blast, which is our under 10 program. So it's an activities-based program. So depending on whether you're looking for a game style format, we only have the one Blast program at the moment. We don't have the game style. It's just the activity sessions. So once you're sort of over the activity sessions and you want a bit more of a game and a competition, then you'd move to under 10s.
Yep. And yeah, so well done to Kiara and Lockie. I think I saw Byron, a few other people have come out and helped out.
We've had a few helpers. That's great.
That's great, which is awesome. And then move on to the 10s, which are run by Benny Owen at the moment, and some of the parents that are involved
and again,
there.
Eliza is coaching as well. So another pathway. And Eliza was originally looking to coach our girls team, but we didn't get one up. So hopefully next year we've got a few blasters that are potentially looking, towards the age of a girls program. So fingers crossed for next year.
Yep, and that's everything. It's baby steps, and hopefully it just grows from that. And the fact that everyone can see the pathway now, that we can go from the blasters to the junior girls into our women's program. That's how these things do build. And for the real superstars, we know there's the pathways of Premier and everything from that. But those who just want to be involved in the club, we at least do have that. And then to our under 12s and our under 14s, who the 12s obviously are flying at the moment. Mitchie Kleeman and Nape are doing a great job with them, and 14s as well, who have been absolutely awesome over the last few weeks. And I think I've lost Belinda there for a moment. So while she is getting her thing back on, I will actually just move on and talk about the 6th of 11, because it was made point to me that I did miss a game when Nape and I went through this. So thank you for a couple of people that pointed that out. We did play Ainsley Park the previous week, made 9 for 100, probably not the game we sort of wanted. Rupert got 1, apparently got a shocking decision for me, absolutely plum, mate. Benny Owen was the standout, with the skipper with 28. Kiara batted a long time for her too, so congratulations there to Kiara for spending time in the crease. Unfortunately, I hit out and hit the stumps and whatever, and we got to 100. Probably left a few in the shed, unfortunately. They had one batsman who absolutely swung out of his rear end and got the 50 up there, which was a bit frustrating, but there was still some good tight bowling. Mitchie Clifford is on an absolute heater at the moment, 1 for 15. I finally got a wicket, and that bowling my absolute tripe. Kiara bowled really well, so did Ethan McLean. Actually, most of the bowlers there came on. Kat Owen especially got her first wicket too in the senior competition, so congratulations to Kat there. An awesome achievement. We're moving on, and as we've talked about the week before, the earlier podcast, that we actually finally got a win there. So I was just talking, Belinda, while you cut out there about the Sixers game that I did miss. I had a few people mention that when I released the other podcast, and congratulations to Kat.
Don't miss the game.
Spent a bit of time there. Yeah, that happens. It's Wi-Fi, it's technology, it's all good. Why I'm talking about things that I do need to announce, we haven't announced the team of the week this week, so I will put that out right now, so people know, and it's probably a good time to actually have you on here. So we did have Bolts 45 and 1 for 32, also 33 in the T20. Rupert got 52 not out on the weekend, batted really well, getting that pickle juice into him, getting him over the line. Jack Kearns for his efforts in the T20. We did take a bit of the mickey out of him because of what happened to England and the fact that he did bowl a dirt ball, but he still took 1 for 4. But the 76 was awesome, Jack. Just need you to do that on a Saturday as well. Thomas Stafford, 57, really well batted young fella, taking after his old man there. Telson with his first 50 for the club. Congratulations, Tal. We know he's more of a bowler normally, but went up the order this week with a stick and might be staying up there with his 51. The next young fellow, I'm sure he'll be wanting to get some more runs in the seniors, but geez, he's on a heater in the under 14s at the moment. Tell us about how Lockie and the boys are going in the 14s, because 77 not out.
The 14s are such a diverse group of kids, but I've actually never seen a group of kids sit underneath the marquee for an entire 50 overs like I did 2 weeks ago, and just, I mean, I was scoring, so I was next to them, but they were having a great time. They are a really great bunch. There's under 12s that are playing up, and we've got, you know, a number of older heads in that team. And you know, the first game was a bit of a disaster, but since then they have been they've been amazing. And I must give a shout out to Jason Boyd again, just for the development squad. So this is the primary, you know, group of people that are in that development squad. And you know, to watch Ethan get his first 50, and Elliot get really close to a 50, Charlie got a 50, you know, it's really amazing to watch. You know, even you know, some of the kids are not getting 50s, but they're making more runs than they've ever made before, and have got more confidence than they've ever had before. So it's really amazing to watch. We don't really need to talk about Lachlan's 77, you know. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about it, but you know, maybe check the seniors results.
But that is translating into for some of it into seniors, so that we did see Tyler make his highest score on the seniors on the weekend, and that's what it's about. So yeah, these juniors not
Callum
obviously
was nearly on a hat trick on the weekend, and you know,
exactly.
Tyler came out and cracked some amazing balls in the seniors as well.
Yeah, so, and it's good. So there's growth here, and they can take this junior form. The better paying 65 not out, and 1 for 21 in the under 12s. Like, to make 65 in an under 12s game is absolutely brilliant. So it does definitely deserve
you know, from where they came. Like, we've watched them come from the under 12s where they were going out and not making any runs to you know, now hitting some decent scores. It's a testament to all of their hard work and their coaches, you know, that are working really hard with them to get those, you know, rewards in under 12s, which is amazing.
For sure. You just mentioned Ethan McLean, but they made 19 and took 2 for 16 in the seniors, which backed up from his 66 in the juniors as well. So that's starting to translate from Ethan, and I've been lucky to bat with him a couple of times this year, and I think we put on 40 or 50 at Mount Evelyn. A great young fella, and I'm sure he'll be joining some of those other 14s who have already progressed through those lower grades very soon, because I'm really loving his work. Ash Boyd, our wicketkeeper this week, 11 not out and 21. Not her fault that it was 11 not out, because obviously the rain came, but it looked like she was in for a big day there.
I love watching Ash bash. You know, I haven't seen Ash play for a couple of years, obviously with the hiatus of the women's team and the girls program. And gosh, I love watching how far she's come with her batting, and she's worked really hard as well.
Yeah, for sure. And her and Alicia both doing a lot of hard job of the keeping. It's the it's like volunteering, as you said, on the committee and stuff like that. You're happy to do it and stuff. You get involved in that, but it's such a thankless job sometimes. And wicket keeping can be very much like that. But the amount of time you've got to actually put in, and I know Ash and Alicia been doing that as well. So well done to those two ladies, but in particular Ash for making team of the week this week. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't get this, as much as some people think it is the case, I don't decide on player of the week, but I'm pretty sure this guy's going to get it. Grant Stutzel, 98 and 3 for 14. Should have made 100, but that's his own fault.
He told me 95.
That's what he told, but actually it was wrong. So he was actually closer than what it was. So, because when I double checked the scores, it was 98. So yeah, he was telling everyone 95, but I believe it was actually added up wrong, but which might make him spew about even more about it. But yeah, pretty close, Stutz, and well done, mate. He's doing an unbelievable job with the women's program, and it's great to see him perform as well. He did on the weekend. We know he's a gun. Maddie Stevens cops a lot off this podcast, and we love you, Maddie. You're a great bloke, great teacher, forfer, and you keep doing your work, because you're doing an amazing job.
I watched a lot of those overs, and they were pretty damn good.
Yeah, and they were a good lineup. And shout out to actually some of the Kilsyth players who actually did tune into the podcast, the previous podcast of that. We were taking the mickey out of a couple of them, and they actually did, apparently reach out and say they were listening. So it's great to thank you to any of the other clubs that are listening. I actually did hear from another club that they somebody tuned in from them too. So it's not just the Rangers, listening to the Rangers rundown. Harrison Lowe, 28, 2 for 37, and the 5 for 16 in the T20. You'd probably be unlucky if you missed team player of the week as well. But as Nape said and I were talking about today, get them on a Saturday, not on a midweek game, mate. But no, awesome, Harry. You're having a great season, buddy. And Sando doing Sando things. So we did pick 13 this week because we did really want to include a couple of these extra juniors because that some absolutely unbelievable performances. So didn't really want to kick Sando out. Probably could have put Wolfie in, Rose Schultz, I think, a few of you guys, but as Nape and the committee that picks this said, you old guys, you can stand aside 1 week for these junior guys. So well done to all involved in that team of the week. And I'm pretty sure you've been there too, Belle. I'm pretty sure you were our first women's player that I think was in our team of the week.
I was, 2 for 5. We'll just, come back to that. Yep. As much as you like.
I was nearly going to get it up because I'm like, under bowled to that. What's happening? Because every week your figures look good. And it's like you're bowling the one. I guess that's, as you said, it's hard because we are in that T20 development grade. So, we're trying to share it. Probably we share a lot more than what some of the other great, some of the teams are, not all the teams. There's
but from my perspective, it's all about that. If you expect people to come and be a cheerleader for you in the field, then, you're going to lose people. And sure, we're here for everyone. We're not just here to watch 1 or 2 people do really well. I'd prefer to give up all of my overs and make sure everyone gets a go. Because that's why we're here. People are giving their time to play, and we want to make it fun, and we want to make sure that everyone feels included and part of it, and keep getting better, like improving. I love watching
100%. 100, and that's what it is meant to be about too. That was probably and it's hard because I get it from the league's point of view. My only probably criticism was potentially the rearrangement and adding a 6th grade in the women's, and maybe the 4 or 5 teams went into there. But that's nothing, obviously, against you personally. That's just
no. It's a complex. It's a complex process.
And I get, and that's the hard thing. It's complex because how long the actual effort goes into putting together fixtures, finding grounds, all that side of things. It's very easy for us to criticize from the outside, as you said, because it takes a lot of time and you guys are volunteers. You're not paid people. And though some people say the answer is, well, maybe there should be a paid secretary or whatever. I know that's been a big criticism of especially country footy, and I don't need to go too far down that sort of route.
I'm not really sure, though, that I want to pay more for my community sport. It's expensive enough. So to pay more is a real problem. I've lost my train of thought, but we play for fun. We can control what we can control, and even playing against those better teams, you learn so much. You learn that you can potentially face faster bowling. You learn what you see. So as a development team, even watching, people play certain shots, and I love to challenge myself, and I love to challenge our team to learn from what we're watching. So having the opportunity to play teams that are, have got experienced cricketers in them is actually really good to watch. How do they go about things? How do they call? How do they back up? All of that kind of stuff is actually, I find that I'm learning more by playing those teams that have got those experienced people, and I potentially wouldn't be getting that if we did just have that small grade of, all development teams. So, it's a bit of a catch-22, but I love to control what we can control, and all we can control is what we put on the field and our attitude and how we go about things.
Perfectly well said, and I couldn't say it any better myself. It's something that, again, obviously coming from other clubs and seeing this, being in the same situation where our women's team and even our bottom grade, or like we've had men's teams not win a game for the season, but been playing kind of out of their grade, but the learning experiences that they have gained from that have put them in good stead. And 2 years later, what may have felt like a wasted year because everybody wants to kind of win and be in that moment, those players are dominating into a couple of years because they've learned so much and fast tracking their development. So
we see that with our juniors all the time. Like our 12-1s team are flying, but where were they a couple of years ago when they were playing 12-6s and getting beaten quite comprehensively on multiple occasions, and now look at them, they're hitting 50s and 60s, and I look forward to seeing Zave's first century.
100% of that, and it'd be great because he's hitting a couple of sixes at the moment, and it won't be long until he passes his old man, which would be great for the club. And seeing these juniors, and I think that's as much as like the old guys are still performing, and we're saying it'd be great as the transition speed up. It doesn't obviously work. Nothing's linear, but we are seeing bits and bits of these and pieces of these performances from these young fellas, and it won't be long until if they stick at it as a group and come through together as mates, they'll be the ones dominating games, and hopefully for Croydon Rangers for a long time. All right, we do have you on. Before we finish off, let's have a look at it. And that we have played this a couple of times here, but there was the first wicket,
amazing,
the two-step run up coming in. It was a bit overcast that day, but yeah, comes in, and one of the great catches here just puts the mitts up. Must have been
I'm sure that my kids throw balls at my head all the time. Or like to bowl directly at me, but I'm sure they put me in good preparation for that. But yeah, that's it's fun. Listening to the reaction is actually more fun.
Yeah, it's great hearing everybody go off and stuff like that. How is everybody going with the in the household now that Mum's playing cricket? And that is that what is it like in the Torney household? Are we pretty competitive? Are we do we support each other? How does it go?
Have you met us? I'm sure that there is a stat combination pretty much at every evening. Someone says that they've done one stat, someone else will pull out the other. But we do have a team of batters, and obviously Kiara is pretty much a bowler, but we do like to compare. Although when push comes to shove, and I've watched it a number of times, they will come to the support of each other on the field, which is what I really like to see. We are highly competitive. We do have white line fever that runs through our family. When we're on the field, we're there to play, but we are a bit hard on ourselves, and we do ride the highs and lows of cricket. It is a great leveler, 77 one day and a 0 the next, but we do talk a lot stats. I do have an annual summary of our stats for the season that I keep, and it keeps getting bigger. We made over 1,000 runs as a family last year, so I'm hoping that this year we get to do a bit more and I can contribute a little bit more.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, clearly the ladies of the household are the bowlers and looking after that side of things. So that's great. Probably a last question, but without notice here and that. Obviously, you do have a daughter who does have a bit of a hearing issue, and we know cricket is a sport for everybody. How does Kiara go with that? And is there anything you can say for any potential parents out there who do have children who they're like, probably on the fence about playing because they do have that maybe have an issue there and it's not the only person I've come across having this and have got themselves involved in sport and love it. So it's great that she does play and everything like that and get involved because she's an awesome superstar. But yeah, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey. So, back when she started, she really struggled. She couldn't wear hearing aids when she was wearing a helmet because they would ring and, do rebound noise and all sorts of things. And we've come a long way. Cricket is obviously a distance sport. Like you don't stand next to people often, so you can certainly do hand signals across the field and that sort of thing. But last year we ran, part of the girls' leadership course that she did with Cricket Victoria, she had to do an event, and we ran a Invisible Disability Day, and we had to do some silent drills and use other ways of communicating, and really that's what she uses every day. And cricket has been great. You can wave at people. You don't need to rely. I mean, she won't hear a lot of what is being said from the sidelines. But it's certainly no barrier to her to participation. And we have a participant in our Blasters program who has, technology that Kiara wears so that he can hear her, and it's amazing. There's so many things that people can do for any disability, or we've got such a myriad of disabilities, and many of them are hidden, and there's so many things that we can do if we just communicate about them and accept them. Kids are not, if they don't hear, it's not because they're not listening. Make sure that they're facing you. There's so many little things that you can do for a number of disabilities, and there should be very few barriers these days. And it's just about communication and understanding what works for that family and that child. And there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to participate fully and wholeheartedly and reap the same benefits that we do.
100%, and a few people remember Himi would have who trained with us in the preseason, hearing part of the Australian deaf team. We've got a couple of our members part of an all ability side at another club, and maybe that's a pathway that Rangers will able to go down at some point, depending on our participants. There's blind cricket, there's all these different parts of cricket now too. So it's there. It does cater for everybody, and some of these people do still manage to, play seniors on the weekend. I know I was chatting to a person the other day, and her husband plays with a prosthetic leg or a wooden leg or something like that as well, and still comes out and plays every week, and which is fantastic. So
there's so many amazing things, and I think my one message is that it's not cheating. We're not trying to get ahead of the competition by having a device that will talk directly to the hearing aids. We're just leveling the playing field. We're just allowing that child to participate fully in a sport. We're not trying to beat you. We're not trying to get one up on the competition by having an aid or technology that's available to just facilitate that child to hear. If I had one message, to say, it would be that we're not trying to give our kid a head up in terms of competing and help them to beat your child. We're actually just trying to give our children an opportunity to play to the full extent that they can.
Yeah, well said. Thank you so much for joining us, Belinda. We love you. We love your family. It's great. Great message to the Rangers community there. If you do have any spare time on a Friday night or a Saturday, get down and support our juniors. Just be a face, bring the dog down, bring the cat down, whatever, and go for a walk. Or if you've got even a bit more spare time, get involved, come down the canteen or throw some balls for the kids.
Or help out. Do cricket laps.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Belinda, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me. Have a good evening.
See you, Rangers community. Bye.